ladies and gentlemen. As we navigate the complexities of this new year, I want to address an essential principle focusing on yourself, not in a selfish, narrow-minded way, but in the profound, disciplined pursuit of personal growth and responsibility. We live in a world that bombards us with distractions, social media comparisons, endless debates, and the constant noise of others' opinions. But let me share with you 4 key insights to center your attention where it truly matters on you and your potential. In a world dominated by social media, fast-paced news cycles, and a relentless stream of curated images and successes, it's all too easy to fall into the trap of constant comparison. We see someone else's achievements, their promotions, relationships, possessions, or lifestyles, and suddenly our own lives seem insufficient. But this way of thinking is not only unproductive, it's deeply corrosive. If you spend your days measuring yourself against others, you risk undermining your own potential and derailing your progress toward a meaningful life. Instead, I urge you to adopt a more sustainable and fulfilling metric. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to others today. Why is this shift so crucial? Because every one of us is living a unique life. Our circumstances, challenges, and opportunities are so vastly different that any attempt to equate your progress with someone else's is fundamentally flawed. When you compare yourself to others, you're likely comparing your worst moments to their highlight reels. You don't see their struggles, their insecurities, or their failures, only their triumphs. And that distorted perspective can leave you feeling inadequate, even if you've made remarkable strides in your own journey. The alternative is to focus inward, to measure yourself against your own progress. Who were you yesterday? What did you accomplish? How did you handle challenges? And most importantly, how can you improve? This perspective fosters a healthier relationship with yourself because it centers on growth rather than comparison. It's about becoming a little better today than you were yesterday, and that incremental improvement, no matter how small, is immensely powerful. The beauty of focusing on your own progress is that it allows for honesty and clarity. When you look at your life through this lens, you can identify areas where you're excelling and areas where you need to improve without the distortion of external pressures. Perhaps you procrastinated on a task yesterday. Today you can tackle it head on. Maybe you lost your temper in a conversation. Today you can approach similar situations with more patience. These small, daily adjustments might seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they create a profound transformation. This process also builds resilience. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you stop being swayed by their opinions, successes, or failures. Instead, you become rooted in your own values and progress. This is particularly important because life is not linear. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. If your self-worth is tied to how you stack up against others, those setbacks can feel catastrophic. But if your focus is on becoming better than you were yesterday, those same setbacks become opportunities for growth. They're no longer defeats, they're lessons. It's also important to recognize that this kind of self-comparison doesn't happen by accident. It requires deliberate effort and self-awareness. You must take the time to reflect on your actions, decisions, and mindset each day. This might mean keeping a journal where you document your progress and setbacks, or it might mean setting aside a few quiet moments each evening to ask yourself, what did I do well today? What could I do better tomorrow? These practices are simple, but they're profoundly effective in keeping your focus where it belongs on your own journey. Moreover, focusing on your own progress allows you to celebrate your victories, no matter how small. In a world where we're often told that only monumental achievements matter, it's easy to overlook the small wins. But those small wins are the building blocks of success. Did you stick to a habit for one more day? Did you show kindness in a difficult situation? Did you step out of your comfort zone even just a little? These are all victories, and they deserve to be acknowledged. When you celebrate your progress, you reinforce the behaviors and mindsets that lead to growth. Finally, comparing yourself to who you were yesterday encourages humility and compassion. It reminds you that you're a work in progress, just like everyone else. This perspective can help you be kinder to yourself when you fall short and more understanding of others when they struggle. After all, if you know how difficult it is to grow and improve, you're more likely to appreciate the efforts of those around you. In conclusion, the world will always offer opportunities to compare yourself to others. It will tempt you with images of perfection and narratives of effortless success. But you don't have to play that game. Instead, you can choose a different path, one that's rooted in self-awareness, growth, and resilience. By comparing yourself to who you were yesterday, you free yourself from the tyranny of external validation and embrace the power of personal progress. And in doing so, you set yourself on a path to a life of fulfillment, purpose, and authenticity. Taking radical responsibility for your life is one of the most empowering choices you can make, yet it's also one of the most challenging. It demands that you stop looking outward for someone or something to blame for your circumstances and instead turn inward to assess how your choices, attitudes, and actions have contributed to where you are. This principle isn't about self-blame, it's about reclaiming your power. When you take responsibility for your life, you begin to see that you have far more control over your future than you might have believed. In 2025, this mindset will be more essential than ever as we face a world filled with uncertainty and challenges. The first step in embracing radical responsibility is acknowledging that no one else is going to save you. While it's comforting to believe that someone or something, a government, a partner, a mentor, will step in and fix your problems, this expectation often leads to disappointment and stagnation. The truth is, waiting for rescue robs you of your agency. It places your happiness and success in the hands of others, leaving you powerless when they fail to meet your expectations. Radical responsibility requires you to recognize that your life is ultimately in your hands. While others can support and guide you, the heavy lifting is up to you. This mindset doesn't mean denying the very real external factors that shape our lives. Some people face systemic barriers, difficult upbringings, or unforeseen tragedies. These realities are undeniable and deserve acknowledgement. However, focusing solely on what's outside of your control can lead to a victim mentality, a state where you feel perpetually at the mercy of external forces. Radical responsibility doesn't ask you to ignore these challenges. Instead, it asks you to focus on what you can control: your actions, your perspective, and your response to adversity. When you take responsibility for your life, you also gain clarity. Blame clouds judgment. It keeps you stuck in a loop of frustration and resentment, constantly pointing fingers at others. But when you stop blaming and start owning your role in your circumstances, you begin to see things as they truly are. This clarity allows you to identify patterns and behaviors that might be holding you back. Are you procrastinating? Are you avoiding difficult conversations? Are you making excuses for not pursuing your goals? Taking responsibility forces you to confront these questions and, more importantly, to take action. Another critical aspect of radical responsibility is understanding the difference between fault and responsibility. You may not be at fault for everything that has happened to you. Illness, accidents, or betrayals may have disrupted your life in ways you couldn't have predicted or prevented. But even when you're not at fault, you're still responsible for how you move forward. Responsibility is about ownership. It's about saying, this is my life, and regardless of how I got here, it's up to me to decide what happens. This perspective is liberating because it shifts the focus from what's been done to you to what you can do. Taking responsibility also builds resilience. When you stop blaming others, you stop waiting for them to fix things. You become proactive rather than reactive. You start looking for solutions instead of dwelling on problems. This shift in mindset transforms challenges into opportunities for growth. A failure isn't the end of the road, it's a lesson. A setback isn't a reason to quit, it's a chance to regroup and try again. With each challenge you take responsibility for, you become stronger, more resourceful, and more confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. One of the most transformative aspects of radical responsibility is how it changes your relationship with time. When you take responsibility for your life, you stop wasting time on excuses and distractions. You start prioritizing what truly matters because you understand that every moment is an opportunity to shape your future. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect or hyper-productive, it simply means being intentional. It's about aligning your daily actions with your long-term goals and values. Taking responsibility for your life is an act of self-respect. It's a declaration that your life is worth the effort it takes to improve it. It's a commitment to yourself that you won't settle for mediocrity or passivity. This self-respect becomes a foundation for everything else in your life. It affects how you treat others, how you approach challenges, and how you pursue your dreams. When you respect yourself enough to take full ownership of your life, you set a standard for what you're willing to tolerate and what you're willing to strive for. In 2025, as the world continues to evolve at a breakneck pace, the ability to take radical responsibility for your life will be a cornerstone of success and fulfillment. It's not an easy path, but it's the only one that leads to true empowerment. By accepting responsibility for your actions, choices, and responses, you reclaim your power to shape your destiny. You stop being a passenger in your own life and take the driver's seat, steering toward the future you want to create. This is not just a mindset, it's a way of living that transforms not only your life but also the lives of those around you. The ability to say no is a skill many people underestimate, yet it holds profound power. In a world that constantly pulls us in multiple directions, saying yes to everything is an easy trap to fall into. Whether it's a request from a colleague, a favor for a friend, or an invitation to an event, we often agree out of guilt, obligation, or the desire to avoid conflict. But this constant acquiescence comes at a cost. It dilutes your energy, scatters your focus, and leaves you feeling stretched too thin to dedicate time to what truly. If you want to focus on yourself and achieve meaningful growth in 2025, you must cultivate the discipline of saying no. Saying no is not about selfishness or arrogance. It's about prioritizing your time, energy, and goals. Every time you say yes to something, you're simultaneously saying no to something else, often something more important. Time is finite, energy is finite, and your capacity to do meaningful work is finite. Learning to say no is therefore a form of self-respect. It's an acknowledgement that your resources are valuable and should be directed toward endeavors that align with your goals and values. One of the biggest challenges in saying no is the fear of disappointing others. Many of us are people pleasers by nature. We want to be liked, to be helpful, and to avoid conflict. But here's the truth: you cannot be everything to everyone. Trying to please everyone often leads to pleasing no one, least of all yourself. The people who genuinely value you will respect your boundaries, and those who don't respect your no are likely the ones taking advantage of your inability to set limits. Saying no doesn't mean you're rejecting the person, it means you're choosing to honor your own priorities. Saying no also helps protect your mental and emotional health. Overcommitting leads to stress, burnout, and resentment. How many times have you said yes to something you didn't want to do, only to feel frustrated or overwhelmed later? That frustration often stems from neglecting your own needs to accommodate someone else's. When you say no to things that drain you, you free up space for what nourishes you. You create room for rest, reflection, and the pursuit of your passions. This isn't selfish, it's essential for your well-being. It's important to recognize that saying no doesn't mean you have to be rude or dismissive. There's an art to declining with grace and respect. A well-delivered no can strengthen relationships rather than harm them. For example, if someone invites you to an event you can't attend, you might say, "I appreciate the invitation, but I'm unable to make it this time. Please keep me in mind for the future." This response is polite, clear, and leaves the door open for future opportunities. The key is to be firm yet kind, setting boundaries without unnecessary explanations or guilt. Developing the discipline to say no also requires a clear understanding of your priorities. If you don't know what truly matters to you, it's easy to be swayed by the demands and expectations of others. Take the time to define your goals and values. What are you working toward? What activities and relationships bring you joy and fulfillment? What drains your energy and distracts you from your purpose? When you have clarity about your priorities, it becomes easier to distinguish between opportunities that align with your path and those that don't. This clarity transforms no from a rejection into a strategic decision. Another reason people struggle to say no is the fear of missing out. The idea that every opportunity might be the last of its kind creates pressure to say yes to everything. But this scarcity mindset is misleading. The truth is, opportunities are not finite. Life is abundant, and when you focus on the opportunities that truly matter, others tend to follow. By saying no to things that don't align with your goals, you're creating space for better opportunities to find you. Trust that what's meant for you won't pass you by. Saying no also sets a powerful example for others. When you establish boundaries, you encourage others to do the same. You show them that it's possible to prioritize your well-being and still maintain meaningful relationships and a fulfilling life. This is especially important if you're in a leadership role or if others look to you for guidance. Modeling the discipline to say no teaches others the value of self-respect and intentionality. In the end, the discipline of saying no is not about shutting out the world or refusing to help others. It's about making choices that align with your goals, values, and well-being. It's about understanding that every no is a yes to something else, whether that's time for your family, energy for your passions, or space for your dreams. By learning to say no with confidence and grace, you take control of your life and focus on what truly matters. This discipline is a cornerstone of growth, fulfillment, and success in 2025 and beyond. Crafting a vision for your life that is worth pursuing is one of the most powerful acts you can undertake. Without a clear vision, you are like a ship adrift at sea, tossed by the currents of circumstance and the whims of others. A meaningful vision acts as your compass, providing direction, purpose, and motivation even in the most challenging times. It is a statement to yourself and the world that your life has intention and that you are committed to shaping it deliberately rather than allowing it to unfold passively. In 2025, the need for such clarity has never been greater. The world is more complex and fast-paced than ever, and without a guiding vision, it's easy to lose yourself in the chaos. The first step in building a vision is to take a step back and reflect deeply on what matters most to you. This isn't about what society expects of you or what others believe you should prioritize. It's about uncovering your true desires, values, and aspirations. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become? What kind of life would I be proud to live? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These questions are not easy to answer, and they require honesty and introspection. But they are essential for creating a vision that feels authentic and motivating. Once you've identified your core values and long-term goals, the next step is to be specific. A vague vision like "I want to be successful" or "I want to be happy" is not enough. What does success look like to you? Is it financial independence, professional achievement, or personal fulfillment? And what about happiness? Is it rooted in strong relationships, meaningful work, or personal growth? The more detailed your vision, the more actionable it becomes. Specificity transforms dreams into goals and goals into steps. Having a vision doesn't mean you need to have everything figured out. Life is unpredictable, and your path will inevitably involve twists and turns. But even in uncertainty, a clear vision provides a sense of direction. It helps you evaluate opportunities and decisions. When faced with a choice, you can ask yourself, does this align with my vision? If the answer is yes, it's worth considering. If not, you can confidently let it go, knowing it's not the right fit for your journey. Another important aspect of building a vision is breaking it down into manageable steps. A grand vision can feel overwhelming, especially if it involves significant change or ambitious goals. The key is to focus on progress rather than perfection. What can you do today, this week, or this month to move closer to your vision? These small, consistent actions create momentum, and over time they lead to meaningful results. Success is not achieved in giant leaps, but in steady, intentional strides. It's also important to recognize that a vision is not static. As you grow and evolve, your vision may change, and that's okay. Life has a way of revealing new possibilities and perspectives that you couldn't have anticipated. The process of revisiting and refining your vision is a natural and necessary part of growth. What matters is staying aligned with your core values and remaining open to the journey. Flexibility doesn't mean abandoning your vision, it means adapting it to ensure it remains relevant and inspiring. Building a vision worth pursuing also requires courage. It's easy to settle for what's comfortable or familiar, but a meaningful vision often involves stepping out of your comfort zone. It challenges you to dream bigger, aim higher, and take risks. This can be intimidating, but it's also where growth happens. The pursuit of your vision will likely involve setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. But these challenges are not signs that you should give up. They are opportunities to learn, grow, and strengthen your resolve. Your vision is not just about you. While it's deeply personal, it also has the potential to inspire and impact others. When you live with purpose and intention, you set an example for those around you. You show them what's possible when someone commits to their dreams and values. This ripple effect can extend far beyond what you imagine, influencing your family, friends, and even your community. A vision worth pursuing isn't just about personal fulfillment, it's about contributing to the world in a meaningful way. In the pursuit of your vision, it's essential to celebrate your progress. Too often, we focus solely on the end goal and overlook the milestones along the way. Recognize and honor the steps you take, no matter how small. Each one is a testament to your commitment and effort. Celebrating progress not only boosts motivation but also reinforces the belief that your vision is achievable. Finally, remember that a vision worth pursuing is one that resonates deeply with your heart and soul. It should excite you, challenge you, and give your life meaning. It's not about perfection or achieving everything at once, it's about the journey of becoming the person you aspire to be. When your vision is clear and aligned with your values, it becomes a source of strength and guidance. It gives you the courage to face adversity, the focus to stay on track, and the motivation to keep going. In 2025, as the world continues to evolve, your vision will be your anchor and your guide. It will remind you of what truly matters and keep you grounded amidst the noise and distractions. By committing to a vision worth pursuing, you take control of your life and create a future that reflects your values, passions, and potential. This is not just a goal, it's a way of living with purpose and intention, and it's one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself. In a world filled with noise and distractions, the importance of practicing patience and consistency cannot be overstated. We live in a time where instant gratification is not just a norm, but an expectation. Social media, fast technology, and on-demand everything have conditioned us to expect quick results and immediate success, but real, meaningful progress rarely happens overnight. Growth, whether personal or professional, is a slow and deliberate process, and it requires both patience and consistency to see it through. These two virtues are not just habits, they are powerful tools that, when practiced intentionally, can transform your life. Patience is the ability to tolerate delays, challenges, or failures without losing focus or becoming disheartened. It's about understanding that good things take time and that every worthwhile goal is a journey, not an instant destination. Often the most significant achievements in life, building a career, nurturing relationships, mastering a skill, or improving your health, are the result of sustained effort over months, years, or even decades. Impatience, on the other hand, can sabotage your progress. When you expect immediate results and don't get them, you're more likely to give up, pivot aimlessly, or settle for something less than you're capable of achieving. Consistency, meanwhile, is the steady commitment to showing up and doing the work day after day, regardless of how you feel or what obstacles arise. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. Consistency means that even on the days when motivation wanes or progress feels slow, you continue to take small, deliberate steps forward. Over time, these small steps compound into significant progress. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't see results immediately, but with consistent watering, sunlight, and care, that seed will grow into something remarkable. The same principle applies to your goals and aspirations. Together, patience and consistency create a powerful dynamic. Patience allows you to stay the course even when results are not immediately visible, while consistency ensures that you continue to take action, building momentum over time. One without the other is insufficient. Patience without consistency leads to stagnation. You wait for things to happen, but don't take the necessary steps to make them happen. Consistency without patience leads to burnout. You work tirelessly but grow frustrated when results don't come as quickly as you'd hoped. To cultivate patience, you must first shift your mindset about time and progress. Modern culture glorifies quick wins and instant success, but these narratives are often misleading. Behind every overnight success lies years of hard work, failure, and perseverance that go unseen. Recognize that meaningful progress is often invisible at first. Just because you can't see the results yet doesn't mean they're not happening. Growth happens incrementally, often below the surface, until one day the cumulative effect becomes undeniable. Trust in this process, and remind yourself that the journey is just as important as the destination. Building consistency requires discipline and structure. It starts with creating habits that align with your goals and values. These habits don't have to be grand. In fact, it's better to start small. If you want to improve your health, begin with a 10-minute daily walk rather than an intense workout routine that's unsustainable. If you're working toward a professional goal, dedicate a specific block of time each day to focused effort. The key is to establish a routine that you can stick to, even on the days when life feels overwhelming. Over time, these small actions become second nature, creating a foundation for long-term success. Another essential element of consistency is tracking your progress. When you set clear goals and measure your efforts, you create a sense of accountability. It's easy to lose motivation when you feel like you're not making progress, but when you track your actions, you can see how far you've come. Celebrate these small wins. They are milestones on the path to your larger goals and a reminder that your efforts are paying off, even if the ultimate result feels far away. Patience and consistency also teach resilience. Life is unpredictable and setbacks are inevitable. When you practice patience, you learn to see setbacks as temporary rather than permanent. When you practice consistency, you develop the strength to keep moving forward, even in the face of adversity. Together, these virtues create a mindset that is unshakable. You understand that progress is not linear, that failure is not the end, and that every challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow. It's important to recognize that practicing patience and consistency is not about suppressing ambition or settling for less. Quite the opposite, it's about channeling your ambition in a way that is sustainable and effective. It's about understanding that great things take time, and that rushing the process often leads to compromised results. When you practice patience and consistency, you're not just working toward your goals, you're building the character and discipline needed to sustain those achievements once you've reached them. Ultimately, patience and consistency are acts of self-trust. They reflect your belief in your ability to achieve what you set out to do, even if it takes longer than expected. They require you to trust the process, trust your efforts, and trust that the work you're putting in today will lead to the outcomes you desire tomorrow. This trust is the foundation of a life that is both fulfilling and impactful. In 2025, as the world continues to prioritize speed and instant gratification, practicing patience and consistency will set you apart. These virtues are timeless and they remain the cornerstone of true success and growth. By embracing them, you equip yourself with the tools to navigate challenges, achieve your goals, and build a life of meaning and purpose. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. In closing, the journey of focusing on yourself is not one of isolation or selfishness, but of deep self-awareness and intentionality. It requires courage to take responsibility for your life, the discipline to say no to distractions, the vision to pursue meaningful goals, and the patience and consistency to see them through. These principles form the foundation for personal growth, fulfillment, and resilience in an ever-changing world. When you commit to this path, you reclaim your agency and transform from a passive participant in life to an active creator of your destiny. You learn to silence the external noise, prioritize what truly matters, and align your actions with your values and goals. And while the road may be challenging, it is also deeply rewarding, offering not just success but a profound sense of purpose and authenticity. Remember, focusing on yourself is not about shutting out the world, it's about showing up for it as your best self. By doing so, you not only elevate your own life but also inspire and impact those around you. In 2025 and beyond, may you have the courage to embrace this journey, the clarity to stay true to your vision, and the persistence to see it through. The most extraordinary life you can imagine is within your reach if you choose to focus on what truly matters yourself.